So the second part to this, I was kind of behind the ball when it started trending and showing up. And so the funny thing is, I do have a TikTok account. I try to look it up. I can't find it. This tells me one thing. You know, sometimes I'm a person, I try to give grace. God gives me grace, so I try to afford the same thing to people as much as I can. As their boss or director, you probably would say to yourself, that's extreme. They shouldn't have fired them, right? That's extreme. They shouldn't have went that far. They should have just gave them a warning or told them not to do it. So one already told you they make us sign stuff. They make us take a class. The appropriate things you can do on social media, what you can't do. We know the common sense things is that you can't show patient information on charts and stuff like that. We know that. But I was kind of shocked because it didn't involve like patient information. They didn't name a particular name. And so to me, I was like, wow, that's scary. But I had to sit and think about it. I thought about it like this. If those same, and by the way, shout out to my L&D nurses. Even though I do ICU, L&D is kind of scary to me because you're taking care of two bodies at the same time. Even though I made good grades, that's probably some of the best grades I made in nursing school, I still just was like, I'm gonna stay away from that. And it sounds funny, but that's just my little thing. I know I could probably, but anyway, besides the point. L&D, labor and delivery, that is a specialty field. Just like ICU, that is a specialty field. And for them to let them go, I was like, whoa. I mean, I seen places where nurses come consistently late and they still won't get fired. I've seen that. And the policy clearly states otherwise. But and the reason why that happens because, you know, I don't know if anyone has told you, there's a severe nursing shortage. So it's some things they do let slide. But this one, even though there's no patient information, even though they didn't say any specific names, what it does is loses the public trust. And you got to understand, these companies are about their money. And so if you lose the public trust, they're not going to want to come there to deliver their babies because they know your icks. We're coming back this way. Ain't nothing over there. They always looking for something. I'm sure they smelling other dogs. They always, what I was saying. They're always looking to keep the public trust and keeping their face clean when it comes to that. So they do have to start all over. And unfortunately, here comes the travel nurses. Here come the opportunities. Travel nurses, per diem nurses. When something go like that, there's a wealth of us out there now. There's a wealth of us out there that aren't staff that will take advantage of those opportunities. So you probably think you hurting them, but life goes on. Even if they just could only take a few at a time until they build that floor back up. But they had to react that way because imagine having someone, let me put this out there, who's secretly racist and they taking care of you. Once that's known, my care is not going to be the same from that nurse. What if you have somebody who don't like people with accent, who don't like people who are foreigners? Your care is going to be different. Once that's found out, you need to get rid of them because the care is not going to be the same. The patients know that. The patients feel a certain warmth when it comes from their caregiver. They know if you're being genuine or not. They know. And so I had to sit there and be like, you know what, I get it. I get why they fired them. As much as they need nurses, let alone L&D nurses, that's where the ball fell. So all I'm saying is, if you were one of them, you know, I believe in second chances with the right heart. You got to go in there not believing, and there's a lot of pros and cons. There's a lot of nurses that's like, they didn't do anything wrong. The patients are actually doing that. Yeah, but the issue is not about if they're doing it or not. There's a time and a place for everything. Just like the soda, I can't just open it over my brand new white furry couch. Open it over the sink. Find a different outlet to get rid of your stress, but it is not social media. So I'm just asking my fellow nurses and my new nurses, let's bring back professionalism. The ones before us, the baby boomers, they didn't do none of that. You can even bridge how it even spread over every aspect of their life. They wasn't on social media, for example, bragging, talking about their marriage. Even if it was, maybe it was amongst a small group of people, maybe a little shadow of people at work, their marriages lasted. Now we get on here, my husband ain't do this, my boyfriend ain't do that. Okay, how's that gonna help the situation? That's not for a public forum. It's a place to vent about it. Go out with your girlfriends and hang out and just vent about it to them. Again, back then they ain't do that. If something was going awry, you work that out with your husband one-on-one. Sorry to get off the tangent, but some people need, an analogy, and that's just the best one I could think of. Like how things go to trash when you have too many people in your business. And so if you need to vent, you need to vent. You got to find a way to distress. I remember being charged on over a couple of new nurses. This was like in the middle of my nursing career. And I had a lot of new nurses on my shift. A lot. And versus, a lot of the senior nurses was on the other shifts. But I remember noticing, like, they would really get worked up. And I remember those days as a new nurse. I remember how stressful it was. And so I would take the opportunity. I was like, hey, this is something I kind of started within myself. You could join me after if you want. I'll even treat you. And we'll just go out for appetizers. I can't believe, I thought she done did this already. I gotta pick this stuff up. Okay. We would go out for appetizers just right after work. Right after work, we'll just get it off our chest, go out for appetizers. Something cheap and sweet, but the whole point was just to vent. Just talk about your day, like, oh man, that doctor this, that doctor that. What's wrong with this dog? Okay. And so I just was like, it just built to the point where it was actually now 7 and sometimes 9 of us going out, like after a really hard day. But you know what that did? What I noticed, just like how I said, it transferred from the outside to the inside, inside to the outside. What it did was it built rapport on the floor. So people who didn't normally talk with each other and vibe like that, we were able to come back to work the next day or whatever when your shift's back on, and we worked together because we heard each other. We know what each other's icks are, and we know how to hold each other accountable. Like, listen, don't worry about it. I'll take over that patient. We would take over each other patients sometimes if we notice one patient preferred you over that person, and it might not have been anything that nurse did wrong. So I'm gonna just leave that right there. The other thing I want to circle back around to was saying this. I couldn't find that TikTok video. Why? Because the person, and correct me if I'm wrong, maybe it's still out there. And even if it isn't, here's the point. Social media is forever. Whatever you put out there, it is forever. So you can erase it all you want, but somehow it was able to play on CBS. Somehow it's still able to play on Fox News. I'm not saying it is, but for example, somehow other people got it saved where they can watch it over and over and keep planting it out there. That thing is forever. And so you have to be thoughtful of what you put out there before you do it. And I'm not gonna lie, sometimes it be some memes and stuff that are funny. And I'm not specifically talking about patients. It just may be some nursing memes between us that kind of depicts our day or frustrations we have that are funny. Go across my social media account and see if I reposted them. That's my water cooler moment. If somebody show me a joke or something, I sit there and laugh and I move on and scroll on. You're not gonna see me comment on it saying amen to that or whatever like that. Good luck to that. And as I said, I feel the good Lord is moving me out of this profession. I've lasted this long for a reason. God's hand has definitely been over my license. And I'm just calling, I'm pleading back to professionalism. If this is not a lesson in itself, other lessons, okay, they posted a dead body. Oh, they said this about this specific patient. Oh, they put a live video with this interaction with a patient. Obviously unacceptable. But something that some of us may feel like, oh, this is light. They're not really putting photos or who it is or whatever. Something that's seemingly light, these people ain't playing. As much needed nurses are, they still saying, nope, not here. Not here. We'll go ahead and spend the extra money and get a traveler. Professionalism, y'all. We gotta get back to that. Professionalism. Find another outlet. And I'm signing off. These dogs are overwalked. And that is all. Have a good day.